Why the water you see or know is not unlimited. From space, Earth is this beautiful blue marble, and it's easy to think that water is an infinite resource. But what if I told you that what we see is a grand illusion? It's true that over 70% of our planet is covered in water. But here's the jaw-dropping truth that flips everything upside down. Just 2.5% of all that water is fresh. Can you believe it? 2.5%. That's it. Everything else is salt water in the oceans, which we can't drink or use for farming without expensive and energy-intensive processing. Where's all that tiny 2.5% of fresh water hiding? About 2/3 of our planet's water is just chilling, locked up in glaciers and ice caps. Most of the rest is trapped deep underground in aquifers, some of which are so deep they're practically unreachable. Did you know that the water we actually use, rivers, lakes, and groundwater, it's less than 1% of all the water on Earth? Just take a moment to think about that. Less than 1% of everything. Water is essential to our life. It keeps us alive, helps our food grow, fuels our industries, and satisfies our thirst. This tiny bit of water is what billions of people and ecosystems rely on to survive. We can't just whip up more. Our global freshwater sources are shrinking at an alarming rate. The water we have today is all we've ever had and all we will ever have. When we leave the tap running, take super long showers, or water our lawns too much, we're not just wasting waters. We're using up a valuable resource that we can't replace, not in our lifetime or even in our kids' lifetime. We're using up resources way faster than nature can replace them, thanks to more people and industrial needs. The situation is becoming critical, but where the biggest waste actually happens? You might be surprised by this one. We often think our homes use the most water, but it's actually agriculture that's the real heavyweight. It uses up a staggering 70% of the world's fresh water, and sadly, a lot of that just goes to waste. Think about it. Leaky irrigation canals wasting water before it even reaches the fields. Some old flood irrigation that just wastes water, even evaporating before reaching the soil. Crops can totally get way too much water, like way more than they actually need. Researchers' report reveals a key agricultural findings that billions of liters are wasted every single day because these systems just don't work right. It's not about pointing fingers at farmers. It's about getting a grip on the big challenges so we can team up for better solutions. Let's dive into the industry, the invisible wasteland. There are those massive cooling towers, sprawling textile factories, and complex oil refineries. These industries are seriously thirsty. They guzzle down huge amounts of water every single day for processing, cooling off, and cleaning. For instance, it takes about 2,700 liters of water to make just one cotton t-shirt. That's enough to fill a bathtub. From creating the fabric for your favorite tea to generating the electricity that lights up your home, water is truly the lifeblood of industry. Here's the thing that often gets missed. A big chunk of the water we use turns into industrial wastewater. A lot of it goes back into nature without being treated properly, making it unsafe for communities and ecosystems downstream. So not only we are burning through our precious water, but we're also polluting what's left of it. Let's take a moment to talk about our homes now. That sneaky little dripping monster just lurking there, you know. At home, the waste looks small. Maybe just a few drops here and there. The numbers are honestly mind-blowing, and even I can't believe what I'm seeing in the reports. A single faucet dripping just once a second can waste over 11,000 liters of water every year. That's like a ton of water down in the drain. Think about that. Old toilets can waste way more water than new ones. Daily routines include showering, doing dishes, and laundry. It all adds up, slowly draining our water resources. In fact, one study showed that household leaks alone waste trillions of liters globally every year. It's a quiet mess that shows how small leaks can become big problems together. Think about this for a second. The problem isn't just that we're using too much water, we're also polluting the water we have left. Check out these shocking, eye-opening numbers. Every single year, humanity produces about 1,500 billion cubic meters of wastewater. That's a staggering amount, almost impossible to even picture. Now, here's the truly concerning part. Around 80% of wastewater gets dumped back into nature without any treatment. In many developing nations, it's common for industrial waste to flow directly into rivers and streams. This pollution makes the water too pricey and tough to clean. So, it's not just that we're taking water out of the system. We're actively shrinking the pool of safe, usable water for everyone. It's a cycle we urgently need to address together. There's the hidden connection that people often miss, but it really affects our planet big time. You know how we always talk about saving waters? Like taking shorter showers and turning off the tap. Well, what if I told you that one of the biggest water wasters is right in your kitchen or even your trash can? Here's the truth almost no one talks about. Wasting food is wasting water. Every time we throw away food, we're also throwing away all the water that went into growing, then processing and transporting it. Think about a single apple. It seems small, right? But to produce that one apple, it takes about 125 liters of water. That's more than enough to fill up your bathtub. Now, let's talk about a loaf of bread. It takes about 1,600 liters of water to get that loaf from the farm to your table. That's like flushing your toilet over 250 times. And it gets crazier. Animal products actually use way more water than you'd think. Producing just 1 kilogram of beef can use up to a whopping 15,000 liters of water. That's enough to fill a tiny pool. Crazy, right? When you think about it, tossing out a leftover burger or a forgotten steak isn't just wasting food. It's like dumping thousands of liters of precious water right down the drain. This isn't just a casual observation. It's a well-documented issue. A recent scientific review in Food Engineering Reviews actually calls food waste is a hidden water disaster. It's pretty wild when you think about it. There's a crisis right in front of us, but most people can't see it. The water that helps grow our food and raise animals is called virtual water. It's a key part of what we consume. When we toss out a third of all the food made worldwide, we're also wasting a huge amount of that virtual water. Imagine a massive invisible river of food flowing from farms to our homes, only to end up in landfills. That's food waste for you. We pour tons of resources, especially water, into growing food that just ends up as trash, hurting the environment instead of feeding the people. Ever think about where your water actually comes from? We turn on the tap and magically it appears. But the journey that water takes is often long and surprisingly very leaky. A huge portion of the world's fresh treated water never even makes it to our homes. It gets lost along the way. This isn't just a small drip here and there. We're talking about a massive global problem hidden right under our feet. Most cities everywhere, from big bustling metropolises to cozy little towns, are wasting tons of water every single day. The main culprit? Aging infrastructure. The huge maze of pipes that brings water from treatment plants to our taps is often old, cracked, and falling apart. Think of millions of tiny leaks dripping non-stop. What a huge waste. Some countries have it way shocking than you realize. As much as 40 to 50% of the water pumped into the system just vanishes. It seeps into the ground from secret underground leaks. Think about that for a moment. Half the water, carefully collected, cleaned, and transported, never reaches the people it was meant for. It's like filling a bucket with a giant hole in the bottom. We're basically using double the energy and resources just to get half the water, right? So when we talk about water scarcity, it's easy to picture dry riverbeds and scorching droughts. Sometimes the problem isn't just the big stuff. It's something right under our noses. We're talking about pipe issues and infrastructure problems. In many parts of South Asia, like Bangladesh, India, and then some, we see water being wasted in a couple of major ways. First, there's the direct waste. Think about poor storage facilities, outdated, leaky pipes, old and clunky supply systems that just aren't efficient anymore. Then there's the indirect waste, which is a bit more hidden. This happens when we pull too much water from the ground faster than it can be replaced. This over-extraction is causing groundwater levels to drop at an alarming rate. Reports from areas like Dhaka, Mumbai are staggering. They show that millions of liters of precious water are lost every single day just from leaks in the system. On top of that, shifting climate patterns are making things even trickier and more uncertain. But here's the thing, this isn't just a local or regional issue. It's a story that connects all of us, a global problem that needs our attention. So what can we do about the global water crisis? It might feel overwhelming, but guess what? There are tons of awesome solutions out there, from cool technology to super simple everyday habits. And together they can make a world of difference. Let's start with technology. Smart sensors in our cities work like a nervous system for water pipes, spotting leaks instantly and saving tons of water. We're really improving at reusing water. Super advanced treatment plants can clean up used water, so it's safe for irrigation, industry use, or even drinking. And simple, effective systems for harvesting rainwater can provide a clean, local water source for communities everywhere. Technology alone isn't enough. We also need smart policies and good governance. Fixing and upgrading old city water systems saves big money. It means making sure industries clean their wastewater before letting it back into the environment. Imagine farms where water is delivered directly to the roots of plants, drop by drop. And it involves creating incentives for farmers to adopt water-efficient practices, helping them grow more food with less water. Drip irrigation can save up to 70% more water than regular flood methods. It's all about giving farmers cool perks to use less water while growing more food. These policies create the framework for large-scale and sustainable change. Now it brings us to the most powerful player of all, and that's you. Your personal contributions are crucial. Think about your daily routine, that annoying dripping faucet. Start at home. Fixing it right away can save tons of water. Taking a shorter showers, even by just a minute or two, adds up over time. Go for low-flow taps and toilets to save water every time. Remember to turn off the tap while brushing your teeth and think twice before flushing anything small down the toilet. Your kitchen choices really do make a difference. A huge amount of water is used to grow our food, right? By reducing food waste, you're also reducing water waste. Finally, get involved in your community. Support local initiatives that promote water conservation or protect local water sources. It can be easy to feel like our individual actions are just a drop in the ocean. Just remember this: no action is too small, especially when millions or even billions of us join in together. Every little bit counts. Each one of us has the power to contribute to a water-secure future for everyone. Let's start today. Imagine a world where turning on the tap gives you nothing but air. This isn't some science fiction movie, okay? It could be our reality if we keep wasting water like this. Major cities might hit their own day zero, where there's no water left. Food prices are set to soar as water for farming runs low. Just imagine how that would mess with your grocery bill. A 2024 report from The Guardian warns that global food production is at risk. Things are getting worse right under our feet. Our groundwater. This hidden treasure we rely on is running low, and it might push millions to move for this basic need. We could see conflicts arise, not over land or oil, but over access to clean water. Rivers and lakes we love could shrink and disappear. How crazy is that? We're moving toward the future, but it's not guaranteed. By understanding the stakes, we can start making a change today. Water waste isn't just a household problem. It's an agricultural problem, an industrial problem, a policy problem and a global problem that affects every single one of us. Great news! There are solutions out there and everyone can help out. Yep, that means you too. The water you save today could be the water someone really needs tomorrow. Keep that in mind, okay? It's a resource that brings us all together, no matter where we are. How about we all make a promise together? Let's protect our water and save it in our everyday lives. It's super important, right? And most importantly, we should treat it with the respect it deserves. It's our life source, after all. Because the future of our planet, our communities, and our children depends on nothing goes to waste on the water.